And hello again, and here we are in this garage with my Kawasaki Z1000 Mk2 resto mod project, which you've not seen for quite a long time. So hopefully you can hear me over the noise of the rain on the roof. It's quite a horrible day today, but we'll do our best. So, things at last are starting to move forward with this project. So since the last time I featured it, there's been a few small things have happened, such as I've had the front mudguard colour matched with the standard paintwork. So the front mudguard is from a Kawasaki Z1000, as is the whole front end, or rather the forks and the yokes. Obviously the wheels aren't from that bike, they're actually from an R6 front and back. So at least it looks a bit better. Although that said, actually I do wish now that perhaps I'd also fitted a Z1000 cockpit fairing to match, because I've only got a single digital tacho stroke speedo on the bike right now, and it does look a bit lost. I wish I could have fitted the standard clocks from Mark II, but I can't, because I can't use the original speedo drive on the front wheel, and that means I can't use those clocks. So if I did fit a ZRX cockpit fairing, that would sort of hide the fact it's only got a single modern clock on there. And I think actually the style of that cockpit fairing might match this rather angular look of the bike. I did see a similar bike to mine at a show some time ago, and it had a ZRX 12 fairing, and I must say I was surprised at how good it looked. So it's possible I might go out and buy myself an original fairing and then modify it, of course, and modify the mounts to work with this front end. Slight problem though is that that bike has a square front headlamp, and I've got an original round one, so it's all a bit of swings and roundabouts. It could be a lot of work to change all this stuff now, because I've made one-off mounts here for the headlamp and so on, so it's going to be a lot of work if we decide to go that way, but I've not yet decided. Perhaps another option is to fit a front cockpit fairing from an earlier Z1R, because they're quite angular. I think that might work quite well. Of course it will also need special bracketry making and then being colour matched, but that's something we might do in the future. So recently progress has been made on the engine. As you can see, it's not got the barrels on, no pistons and no head, but the head has just come back from having a bit of work done, and so we'll now go next door in the warm side of the garages and have a look at that head and what's been happening with the engine. And so now here we have the head, and while it doesn't look like much, it's actually had an awful lot of work done to it. It's been gas flowed and it's got bigger than standard valves. So just this week it's had another little mod, because this head came from an American bike, and as such it had these ports here which are there to inject air into the exhaust flow and cut down on emissions, which we don't need and don't want. Therefore these ports have now been drilled out slightly and threaded, and so we can plug them up and forget about them, and that's why it's just come back from being machined. So now these are going to get, as I say, some plugs screwed in there, Loctited, and that's it. We'll never have to worry about them ever again. So there's the head, and Les is about to start to rebuild it using those new, bigger than standard valves. When that's done, we can then move on and hopefully fit both the head and the block and the pistons. And so here we have all the parts needed to rebuild the head. All these springs have now been checked to make sure they're in tolerance, and there we have the new valves, which of course are slightly bigger than standard. And next door we have the big block that's waiting to go on the bike. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, we should have the engine back together again by the year end. At that point we'll probably take it home and work on the electrics, and then decide things like what kind of exhaust pipe I'm going to have. I can't buy a standard one because no standard exhaust system for my bike will fit, because I've got a wider than standard back end. I've got a wider swing arm and a 5.5 inch rear wheel with a 180 tyre, so no standard pipes will fit the bike. So I can either maybe modify one or make one from scratch, or perhaps buy one very expensive exhaust system all the way from Japan. But they're about £3,000, so I suspect I won't be doing that. So yeah, it's coming together very slowly, but yeah, should be by perhaps the spring of next year, the bike should be ready to put on the road at last, but we'll see. So anyway, there's a quick update on my Mark II, and hopefully we'll see it again before Christmas. And so that's it for now, so thanks for watching and cheers.